Governor Maura Healey's plan to close all 32 hotel shelters in Massachusetts.
Now, those newly announced closures will happen this summer and could impact thousands of families. We have team coverage on this tonight. NBC 10's Matt Pritchard is standing by at the State House with more on how state leaders are responding. We'll get to you, Matt, just a moment, but we want to start with NBC 10's Darren Botello, live in Revere. Darren, you spoke to a woman living in one of those shelters. What did she say?
Good evening. So that woman I spoke with who's temporarily living inside this shelter right here, this hotel shelter, says the conditions inside there just really aren't ideal. And with these upcoming closures, she says she's hoping for more permanent housing.
I'm grateful right now because I have somewhere to stay.
This woman, who did not want to share her name publicly, temporarily lives at the former Quality Inn here in Revere, one of 32 hotel shelters that will soon no longer be an option for thousands of people using them across the Commonwealth.
It's not comfortable being in the shelter. Not only, I'm not saying that they're abusing us and stuff like that. It's just like no place that you're wrong.
Governor Maura Healey, who previously directed all hotel shelters to be closed by the end of 2025, now saying the plan is 6 months ahead of schedule.
This is where I wouldn't want to be.
Right now, social services organizations like La Colaborativa are helping families find more permanent housing ahead of the closures.
Hotels were never conducive to family stability, so many of the families that are in hotels today will be transferred to other shelter locations or rehoused in permanent apartments, so it's a much healthier, more supportive environment for them.
La Colaborativa staff say there is still room at those other shelters in the state, so anyone staying at one of the hotel shelters shouldn't be left homeless.
The shelter requirements are more stringent now, so a smaller number of people actually qualify.
According to the state, the total number of families in shelters recently dropped below 5,000 for the first time since summer 2023.
What I'm going to do is endure until I find a new place.
And as of right now, state officials have still not yet said what will happen to these hotels once the shelters actually close. Live in Revere tonight, Darren Botello, NBC 10 Boston.
Okay, Darren, let's continue our team coverage now with NBC 10 political reporter Matt Pritchard.
So, Matt, at the time, opening hotels to migrants was a really controversial decision. Some said it would just cost too much. What are lawmakers saying now that it's almost over?
Yeah, well, Glenn, JC, the big news out of the State House today when we talk about this particular subject is a new audit which shows that a bunch of no-bid contracts were put forward by the state for certain shelter services, canceling out that more open competitive process and, as they say in the process, burning a lot of state dollars. A shift for the state's shelter system.
They're not a place for families.
Emergency use of hotels and motels to house migrants said to be shutting down by summer, 6 months ahead of Governor Healey's end of 2025 deadline.
You see numbers going down for folks who are in shelter. You see costs going down, and we're just going to continue to make progress.
But a new audit is pouring cold water on that outlook. Auditor DiZoglio detailing mismanagement with the system from July 2021 through June 2024, specifically no-bid contracts with companies like Spinelli Ravioli and Pilgrim Transit for food and transportation services.
In circumstances where you have several months to be able to review data, you can see the trends, you know what's going on, we really do need to ensure that the law is followed in the execution of, again, millions of our taxpayer dollars.
Is her input appreciated? Will you make changes based off her recommendations?
I doubt it. I mean, this has been territory pretty well covered.
An approach DiZoglio hopes the governor will reconsider.
We are recommending that they change gears, that they start going through a bidding process.
And while that back and forth plays out, the Healey administration is still wrestling with the root causes of the crisis, including with President Trump's aggressive approach.
The general move in recognition that there needed to be more control brought to the border is absolutely correct.
And this shelter issue is already rolling into the next governor's race. We've seen Republican hopefuls Mike Keneally as well as Brian Shortsleeve each offering their criticism for how the Healey administration has handled that situation over the last several years. At the State House, Matt Pritchard, NBC 10 Boston.
Matt, thank you. And our team is staying on top of these upcoming closures, both on air and online. For more on the impact, just head to our website, NBC10boston.com, or download our free news app.